Good evening, everybody, and welcome out here to Pittsburgh State Esports, where tonight we have a good matchup between your Pittsburgh State University Gorillas and the West Texas A&M University. I am joined alongside here by Declan Bergstresser. I'm Daryl McLeod. Dex, this is our first time out here on the Overwatch Esports stream. How do you feel about tonight?
A bit nervous, but we're going to get through it and we're going to watch and talk about a great game.
Yeah, it should be great. Obviously, we're looking at ranks of the teams coming into this, and they match up pretty evenly. Our team has a few players on the lesser ranked side, as West Texas A&M University does have 2 players who are in the plat level, which should be an advantage for them going into the game. But I feel like our team's better overall rounded, as the low sides of that West Texas A&M team are lower compared to ours. As far as the game goes, whenever we get into this, obviously, it's going to be a matchup of team. Overwatch is a very team game, very team-centric. How do you feel that that advantage for West Texas is going to work or play out for them as the match goes on?
I think it could be an advantage or a disadvantage. They have a couple high-ranked players, but that means they know how to play good. But do they know how to play good in a team is a big question. So I think it's going to come down to how good are their coaches, how good have they trained them to work as a unit.
I think that's absolutely correct. And one thing we were actually talking about whenever we were getting ready for this is it's pretty easy in Overwatch to just solo queue up and then rank up that way. And that can obviously inflate your rank just a little bit. But as far as working with the team goes, it changes completely whenever you're in a 5-team atmosphere and you have to be communicating with all of them at the same time. So yes, I do agree that it's going to be up to the coaches. Now, you mentioned coaches. The coach for West Texas A&M is quite good at Overwatch.
I mean, he's okay.
He's all right.
He has some time on the game.
That's exactly right. Yeah, he's played a little bit. Grandmaster 3 is his rank, so he's quite good. It'll be all right. Our coach, obviously, no rank provided yet for him, but I think it should be a good matchup overall. I'm not too worried about it. It still is just the teams playing and not anything like that. Obviously, they could switch teams at any moment, but it really comes down to the characters that they decide to play and the characters that they are comfortable with. Because if ever they get comfortable with those characters and they match up just any kind of way, if they have, any type of advantage over the other characters that play or any type of counters or foils, then that's going to definitely play a big role. Looks like we're going to start off on Lijiang Tower. Going to be a control map for us. We'll get to see how Pitt State reacts to that and what characters they choose. Since we're getting ready to go, Dex, why don't you go ahead and give us that West Texas A&M roster, I guess, the starting lineup for them and their ranks involved.
Well, for West Texas, they came in here with 6 players. We got Omega Dragon at Platinum 4. We have Miss Olivia at Platinum 3. We got XATM at Gold 5. We have Craxies, who we currently don't know what the rank is. We have Crypto Chris for Silver 2. And finally, we have Asteroid GX at Gold 3.
Yes, that's those ranks for them. Then obviously they're coached by Carnage, who is the Grandmaster 3. He should hopefully help their team tonight. As for the Pitt State Gorillas, you have Brunts, the team captain, coming in at Gold 3. Obviously a lot lower than the team captain of the other team. Omega Dragon being the captain of them, being at Plat 4. Then you have Whiskery Kun, who is currently unranked. Another unranked player we have on our team is Toxic Gamer OW2. Hopefully soon, with all this competitive play that they're hopefully doing in practice, we'll get a rank for them. Then you have Kurumi Tokasaki, who will be referred to as Kurumi for the rest of this broadcast, just so I don't have to spill over my words, is coming in at Gold 5, so one of our better players on the team. And then rounding out that 5, we have Danny DeWolverito, who is going to be Silver 5. Then obviously we are coached by Sexy Beast, who has no rank provided.
How can you not trust a coach named Sexy Beast?
Exactly.
It just exudes confidence.
I think there's nothing better than it, honestly. Well, we're getting ready to see which characters we're going to choose. We'll have to see here in a second who the starting 5 end up going with. Obviously, that first battle so important on a control map. You get control of that first point, you take a large percentage, and you're kind of just holding ground. You're able to set up on high ground, able to move around the map better. And on this map especially, those 2 high ground points that we just passed on the side there, crucial if you end up going with a longer range character such as a Sojourn, a Mei, those characters that are able to extend the playing field.
You know, I
It
think
looks
it's a
like,
brave pick for today's meta to have a Reinhardt. I'm really interested in where they're going to take it.
yes, it looks like our players might be swapped around on your screen. The blue team, Omega Dragon, that's West Texas A&M. So it looks like they're going to be going with the Reinhardt comp. And they're going to get started right on the gates with that speed boost from Lucio, trying to get to the control point first. They're going to portal into the map.
Good teleport and amazing fire strikes. Just
Reinhardt
right
going to
off
build
the
a
bat.
lot of ult charge from that. Those turrets set up so quickly by Symmetra, taking control of the point very quickly. They're running a different type of comp here. Already going into that big form.
Those sim turns will get you. They slow you down. They build up damage. It's just a very well-placed turn. As much as I just hate the turns in general of the game.
Turrets are very annoying when you're trying to play. They always, I feel like they're always come at the worst times. So it looks like West Texas is going to control this initial point, and Pitt State going to have to regroup on the outside and plan their attack. Running a Moira as a healer and Lucio. Not a lot of impact healing. Of course, Moira does deal a lot, but Lucio, more of a passive healer, used more for his speed boost abilities.
Now, he does have his ultimate, so this could be a big push.
That is a great point. However, it looks like he's not going to have to use it because they get a team wipe
Amazing.
on blue. And that's going to secure the point after 52% goes to West Texas.
Let's see, it
Looks
seems
like most players for West Texas having their ult ready for this next push.
They're just trying to currently pepper them down, but I don't think that's going to work with the Lucio. With his healing being an area of effect, it's peppering down with just a fire strike here there is not going to do much, so I'm wondering what they're thinking of right now.
I think we're about to see a good play here. Looks like Sim might teleport up, and Reinhardt going to use that Earth Shatter if he can. Oh, he's going to charge in instead, so Portal too late. He uses that Earth Shatter, and he's going to get eliminated. Lucio uses his beat. And now we've got a bunch of ultimates being used in this battle. 2 Symmetra walls crossing the plains. And Pitt State trying to hold on to the control point. Sim gonna go down. Sojourn popping off. He teleports around, and she's gonna get booped out of play. Gets back in, trying to contest that point. Pinned off the map. That's a good move. Mega Dragon hits the charge off the map during the ultimate, and that's going to secure the point for West Texas.
I just know Brunts is hurting from that. Getting killed during an ultimate is one of the worst feelings in this game.
It's got to be the worst too, having it on camera. That's always the worst. those clips that I always delete those whenever I get eliminated off the map like that.
Yeah. Weird how those games just don't exist after it happens to you.
Exactly. Well, we got a good push coming here from Pittsburgh State. Ryan getting low already. Lucio gonna have to use his power-up healing.
I'd say that amp it up comes in clutch. It is bad that it's on a 10-second cooldown, but it just has to do. And a big Earth Shatter from Reinhardt. Oh my goodness.
A huge Earth Shatter gonna give them the team wipe, and is going to be very close to securing. It's going to have to be a push for Pittsburgh State. They're going to just have to rush to the point. Likely they're not going to get any team push going, and that's going to end map 1. So at the end of the first part of Lijiang Tower, West Texas going to take up the first win after a couple of great plays from their Reinhardt. And Pitt State's going to be reeling here on this second objective.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they adapt because now they know how A&M's gonna play. So we're just gonna see what's the new game plan. How are we gonna fix our problems that we have?
That's exactly right. Changing up in this game is so difficult because you want to run a team comp you're comfortable with and familiar with, and you don't want people to play players that they don't, do very good with. But it also comes in the question of West Texas is going to be very good with the players, and they just proved right there that they did better on that first map. So adapting and adjusting is going to be huge. West Texas very quick to the point. Sojourn going to flank around to the right side. Reinhardt earth shatters the May wall. May going to be huge for this point, especially as she can clear off so much space with her slowing down ability of that ice freeze.
Her Blizzard is an absolute killer on objectives like this when there's pretty much no walls to hide behind.
They can pretty well control the point because that Blizzard nearly covers the entire point. It looks like West Texas is going to take control in the first battle, and we're right back to where we were in that first matchup on the first map with West Texas in control and Pittsburgh State reeling. They need to come back in this one if they hope to secure any objective in late in the game. Obviously, best out of 3 on these first map. Control points always are difficult to play against, just because if one person gets control early in the game, it's always hard to come back. And Omega Dragon proving why they are a plat 4, as they are just controlling this point.
We also keep in mind he's already having his ultimate ready with that Earth Shatter. With this corner, it could just wrap the whole thing up.
Holding on to that Earth Shatter too could be crucial. We'll see if he decides to play it in this next battle. But blocking the Earth Shatter is going to be for Brunts. We're going to get a beat.
Could this be the push they needed? May is in an ice block. Don't know why they haven't gotten rid of that ability yet, personally.
Ryan does go down, though, after using the ult, so that could be huge. However, May is just unstoppable, walling off the Moira. She's going to get the kill on Moira, and that could very well end this push as both healers down. Lucio has rejoined the fight, and so has Reinhardt.
And there goes Ramatra. Yikes.
Ramatra going to go down. Sojourn having the ult, and no ults available for Pittsburgh State. That's likely going to end this overtime unless a good push here can hold it. Scrambling to try and get the team there. Sojourn going to try and be the last man standing, but she is going to fall. Ramatra now holding the line against Reinhardt. Reinhardt going to get the final kill. Bastion trying to push forward, but a good pin from Omega Dragon. Gonna put the exclamation point on map number 2 of Lijiang Tower. That'll give the first point to West Texas A&M in this best out of 5 series. And it looks like Symmetra gonna get the play of the game. Crypto Chris unstoppable here in this control point. Symmetra turrets everywhere, and she is just overcharged. A good shot at the end to seal off the team wipe. What a performance there early from West Texas A&M, taking the first map. Dex, what'd you see?
I saw a lot of good plays. Clearly, A&M, their movement was great. They hit their shots pretty well, and I don't want to say they got a couple lucky plays, like getting that Bastion who tried to launch himself into the objective, just caught out of the air. That was just poor timing all around for everyone involved. But, they had their teleports down. But Pitt State had some good cohesion. They're working as a team. And I really loved their Lucio, how they just timed their beat drops perfectly.
That's exactly right. They're playing pretty good as a team so far. However, I'm interested to see if they decide to change up their team comp at all, because what they were doing obviously was not working. I'm really more curious on the tank side of things, tank being such a crucial position in this game with there only being one of them. Now, that is one of my complaints with Overwatch 2, I must say. But with there being one tank, I don't know if Ramacha is going to be answer against this Plat 4 Reinhardt.
Well, we'll see how they adapt in our new map, Eichenwald. So, you know, that's usually a long corridors, a couple choke points. So I'm thinking I put like $5 down that there might be a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, just to keep the pressure at long range. But heck,
That's right.
It could be $5 forward. Who knows?
That's true. We might see one of those higher ranked players. I'd imagine the Plat 3 on the opposing team, West Texas. I'm going to make sure that I was correct on Miss Olivia, and it is. We might see Miss Olivia play one of those high damage players from long range because typically the better aim performs a little bit better on those long range corridors. And I do believe you're right. Getting that first point's not typically too hard, but immediately going around that, you go onto that second capture point where there's so much high ground for the enemy team. They're able to control so much space.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling like for their tanks, I would want to say they're probably gonna, at least for Texas A&M, they're gonna stick with Reinhardt. It's been working for them. What I'm wondering is Pitt State gonna keep their Ramatra pick, or are they gonna go to, let's say, either Arissa, who doesn't have to worry about the stuns to counter Reinhardt's charge, or are they gonna go to someone that can stun themselves, like let's see, and they're sticking with. Oh,
Yeah.
they're going Zarya.
That's an interesting pick, I must say. I do like West Texas's pick of Ramatra. I feel like he controls this map a lot better because of that shield. His ability to push it onto the high ground really controls this map. I gotta say, I'm not totally sure about the Zarya pick.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to see what they do with it.
I hope my lack of confidence is ill said later on in this match and we see Zarya pop off and have a crazy 20 kill game. But of course, you never know how that's going to work out.
You know, if they do pop a good gravity well, the Sojourn could get a lot of damage out of the gate.
That is true. Also running a Kiriko and a Baptiste for healer.
Things are more damage oriented right now, at least for this one.
Trying to get that first push, trying to definitely secure this first point. Ramatra gonna be in on the elimination of Zarya. And those turrets going up and doing work. The healing turrets, I should say, as they've kept this Ramatra alive.
I will say that is a very smart play on A&M's part, put it on that corner, because not only does it cover their whole team, because they're holding that specific corner, but at the same time, it's hard to hit because you'd have to wrap all the way around, essentially swinging yourself into a death hole.
Zarya gonna fall, and so are the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Another team wipe for West Texas. You know, I gotta say, I like the switch. They're gonna switch back to Ramatra because I was just about to make the point that there are not a lot of people on that West Texas team. In fact, I would say 0 of the people on the West Texas team that are able to charge up Zarya. Her charge so important. She got to play her bubble in order to, become any threat in the game. She has to have some type of high damage capability, and she just does not with this low damaging team that West Texas is playing as.
Also see they one of their DPS is now swapped to Soldier 76. Hopefully that can do some good damage.
They'll have some range. Hopefully take advantage of the Sojourn and May pick on the other side. They're gonna fall back to the line and take out the healer, but it still is not gonna be enough for Pittsburgh State, as another push gonna end with Omega Dragon just proving her dominance over the rest of the team. And still sitting on that ult as well. They had that ult early on in that fight decided not to use it, and so they're going to have it for this next fight, and it's going to be crucial for Pitt State to get the objective here because they haven't even started pushing the cart.
Now, about a minute left, and we're going to see what they can do, because we're at that point in the round where ultimates are finally built up, and really anything can happen.
Looks like we got a full battle. Sojourn uses hers. Ramatra uses theirs. And it is, once again, dominance from West Texas. They are holding this line. It's their last stand, so to speak. And they will not ever let it up.
They've had some pretty good defense, and their Sojourn has great movement with her slide.
They're able to take up so much space and still control so much ground with the long-range capability of Sojourn. And they've been hitting shots as well whenever they use their alternate shot.
One last screw off from Pitt State.
They've created some space, but they're going to need to take advantage of it. And Omega Dragon, once again, going to need another quick kill. And on all things, the Baptiste, the main healer. And so now Ramatra just going to go to work. Bruns puts up a fight, getting a kill with the ult. But it's not going to be enough.
And that's round one.
The attacking Pittsburgh State Gorillas unable to take the first objective. So all West Texas is going to have to do on this attack is just get that first completion point on that objective. This is going to be a tough stand.
I'm already $5 down in the hole for saying that they might pick a Hanzo or a Widowmaker. I'm going to double down.
Oh, we're doubling down.
Double down. I feel like it would be a great pick right now just to have someone that can pick off some of those characters that are just holding onto the line a bit too well.
That's definitely a good point. The only reason I think they're straying away from it, especially on Pittsburgh State side, is you need someone that can control the point whenever the West Texas A&M people push in. Whenever they get control of that point, it's going to be tough to get them off with a Widowmaker or a Hanzo. Of course, they do have high damage capability, but you got to be able to hit your shots.
That is true. That is true. I see they're mirroring Texas A&M strat of the healing turn on the tower. And I am now $10 poor.
This is also just the current meta, really, that you see. I mean, I haven't seen a pro game yet without a Sojourn. I feel like every single Overwatch League match has a Sojourn. Honestly, I'm getting kind of bored of seeing it. Nerf her.
Nerf, now.
Nerf.
Take away her gun.
Nerf. Make her just use fists.
Yes. I admit, Texas A&M was going MAGA for a bit, but they did switch back to Reinhardt, which I am a bit disappointed about because I thought, new character, it would have been fun to see what he plays like.
But Omega Dragon going to go to the old faithful, going to return to old reliable and Reinhardt, a character they seem to be very comfortable with. And it's proving already. Pittsburgh State down to May. They're going to have to get back fast if they have any hope of holding this line. Looks like Somber going to get a kill. And the push has ensued for West Texas. They control the point. They're going to get the final kill on May. Sojourn's all that remaining. And that's going to be it for her as well. Sojourn gets eliminated, and that's going to end our second map here. Eichenwald goes to West Texas A&M, and now Pittsburgh State in a dire situation. Down 2-0 in a best-of-5 series. This will be equal to the comeback of Cleveland Cavaliers against the Golden State Warriors if they were able to pull it off.
We are currently hoping for a Seahawks Super Bowl comeback.
Yes. Omega Dragon getting the play of the game as Ramatra on that attacking side. Sorry, that defending side just goes absolutely crazy and gets that team wipe. Man, another dominating performance by Omega Dragon, leading that Texas A&M, West Texas A&M, of course, charge and taking Eichenwald for the second map. What do you got to lose as Pittsburgh State? What do you do now? What's your strategy now, Dex, going into this next map?
Well, if I had to choose, and keep in mind, I'm not familiar to the more professional level, but seeing as they're all clumping up, maybe if you could build an ult as a tracer and drop a bomb on the back of Reinhardt, because let's be honest, he's a pretty big target. If you could just drop a bomb on the back of that, like 330-pound, 7'2" Germanic man with a hammer, I feel like that could do some good damage.
That is true. And it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, it all depends on the map that we use and the map that we get, which I imagine will be some type of push map coming in next. Of course, it depends on what West Texas really wants, as they're going to try and get 3-0 and try and sweep the Gorillas in this esports matchup. But, of course, I'd like to see that as well. I think Tracer would be a good pick, as she has a lot of damage potential and able to get behind the team. However, I don't know if Pittsburgh State can really stop Omega Dragon right now.
He is on fire. I think it would be good for another pick, as we saw last round with A&M. They chose a Sombra, which shut down our tank, which I think would be a great pick, so we can make sure Reinhardt can stop hitting a fire strike and going around the corner and just repeatedly doing that.
Yes. That's the main strategy that you're trying to use as Reinhardt, is using corners, peeking out with your shield, and then throwing fire strikes. That's the best way to gain ult charge. Reinhardt does have a very fast charging ult, and anytime you can get it and land an Earth Shatter, anytime you can get anyone to fall, that's almost a guaranteed kill. And so it's so crucial for them to build that ult, and Omega Dragon's very good at it. And so I honestly am just hoping they switch off of Reinhardt for this next map.
Do you know it's like Cash App or something? Just maybe might need some incentive.
Please get off Reinhardt, please. Please.
For the $2.50 I have left, play Mauga or somebody.
Exactly. Play Doomfist of all characters. Play Doomfist. Let's see how it runs. About to see our next map. And it's going to be New Junk City. So a Flashpoint map, as West Texas is going to try and get the sweep, and the Pittsburgh State Gorillas is going to try and come back. And like the great Peyton Manning once said, in a ping pong match, epic comeback starts right here. And I fully believe in that, Dex. I fully believe that our Gorillas can come all the way back down to 0, mount the comeback, start now. It all starts with good character selection, of course. I'm just hoping for the best in this next matchup.
You know, if we had the budget for background music, I'm sure something from Rocky would be playing right now. And it would be beautiful.
That's exactly right. But we're about to see the selection of heroes. West Texas, obviously, up 2-0 on Pittsburgh State University in a best-of-5 series. That's never what you want to see. Pittsburgh State needs to get a win just in hopes of prolonging this matchup. And it's all going to start with this first capture point.
Would you look at Pitt State with Junker Queen? I love to see it. We're staying on, staying on theme with the map. Very nice.
Am I mistaken, or is that a Doomfist on West Texas's side?
He got my Cash App. Yes. I can't afford tuition anymore, but it was worth it.
Look at that. He's going to play Doomfist. We spoke it into existence. And they're going to try and take this first objective with a very interesting team comp, going very solo style. Of course, that does play in pretty well with the Flashpoint objectives, but a Genji, Tracer, Doomfist, honestly, that's kind of a weird combo, and also a very hard combo to heal for. Lucio and Moira, very close healers, while Genji and Tracer like to take their own spreads of the match. Doomfist is going to get a very early kill on the Brigitte, and then Doomfist is going to go down to the Junker Queen. So both teams have an early elimination. However, Pittsburgh State still holds on to their tank. Tracer doing work for West Texas.
Lucio goes down as well, and then May. And Soldier, everyone is dying.
It is a free-for-all. Haymakers thrown back and forth. Frazier and Ali style. Moyer trying to do work on the damage side, not focusing on healing. And it's just the last stand between these last three. The rest of the team's starting to come back.
Imagine that, a Moira who doesn't heal. We've never heard of that ever.
DPS Moira. DPS Moira. Brigitte goes down. Of course, it is Omega Dragon, so I understand.
I admit, it's interesting to see Omega Dragon play support, because the last 2 rounds he's been playing tank.
That's right. They're going to use her ice block. And looks like that's going to be the end of her. A very, very, very tough death there at the end. Losing your life so far at the end of a battle. Now Pittsburgh State has to wait for so long for May to respawn and come back into the game. And that's going to be crucial coming down late. Junker Queen does land the knife. And she has her ult as well. Lucio gets the ult for West Texas, and Moyer has been holding on to hers for a while. Doomfist lands a punch on Junker Queen, and it's going to go into a block mode. Now just trying to poke damage, gets another punch on the Junker Queen. This is building a lot of healing for Pittsburgh State, and May going to come out with an ult. Uses Blizzard.
Good ult.
Using that Blizzard, not going to get anyone with the Blizzard. And that is a crucial defeat as Tracer going to land the Pulse Bomb on Brigitte. Genji has his ult. Not going to use it as it's just the Junker Queen remaining. And we are in overtime waiting for this first flashpoint. And it's going to be unlocked by West Texas. Texas running the board on Pittsburgh State University. West Texas going to advance forward now. And Pitt State going to change up their comp a little bit. Or did they have Sojourn to stop? Did they have Sojourn to start? I didn't get to see who they had at the start. For some reason I'm thinking they didn't.
Huh?
West
No,
Texas going to have
did.
early control.
Goodness,
Who'd
now
they
I'm thinking,
have?
who did that? Huh? Don't worry, it'll come to me like when I'm sleeping in 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that's beyond me right now. And Genji going to have a good blade.
Oh!
Doomfist going to get the
Crossing,
punch.
man. That felt bad, but just watch.
Absolute destruction, and Tracer going to clean up the rest of them. And that's going to be the end of that push. And they're going to control the C flashpoint. Boyer has an ult, Lucio has an ult, so both healer ults for West Texas A&M. For Pittsburgh State University, Sojourn and Brigitte have theirs. Of course, the rally for Brigitte not as effective in today's meta, but still useful. Tracer going to pick up her Pulse Bomb in the off time as well. And Doomfist is close to his ult. They're going to start with a Maywall and try and push around the flank side. Lucio drops his beat.
Down goes
And
their Doomfist.
Moira uses ult as well. So cleaning house on ults, Tracer Pulse Bomb going to get Sojourn, and Pittsburgh State going to get control of the point. They're looking like they can get finally some advantage on the Flashpoint map. And Genji goes down. That'll be a team kill, and Pittsburgh State finally on the board with some percentage.
We love to see it. Now, we need to know, with these characters, can they hold it?
That is very true. This is a very push style team. I don't know how well they will do holding a point, especially when the West Texas team is very, very aggressive.
So with it being on point, I'm waiting for the Doomfist to just pop that ult and land on at least 2 of them.
That ult going to be crucial coming into this battle. The only one with an ult, Moira and Junker Queen both have their ults for Pittsburgh State University. Junker Queen wastes theirs, doesn't hit anyone with it.
You hate to see it.
And Doomfist uses his as an escape route, but is going to get eliminated in the end. Moira pops her ult, and that's going to be cleanup work for Pittsburgh State, and they're going to take control of the second point. 1-1 going into this flashpoint, the next one.
I think this might be the momentum we need, and this might be the push. This could be the hoorah.
It's been awful slow for Pittsburgh State going into this. They haven't been able to get anything going. Like you said, momentum hasn't been on our side. So now, with 2 straight battles won, we'll have to see how they can hold on to it. That flashpoint's going to unlock in 10 seconds, and as of right now, Pittsburgh State holding. Doomfist trying to just take up some damage. He's going to charge in. Moira trying to pop her healing ball. Doomfist in a bad place, but he's going to escape. Pittsburgh State unable to finalize the kill on the pushing Doomfist. Junker Queen with the Genji ult in the background. Tracer gonna clean up the Moira. And now Doomfist gonna go to work on Brigitte. Gets stunned, but there's no one there to help for the Gorillas. May tries to hold the point as long as she can, but she's gonna get eliminated in the end. And West Texas A&M takes it right back. Doomfist showing off some mechanics. Show off.
Look at him punching those rails, thinking he's better than us.
Thinking he's cool. Ooh, I'm
you're
a
silver
plat
2.
4.
You're silver 2, Chris. Pipe down.
Crypto Chris leading the charge for West Texas.
I can't talk much crap. I'm not even ranked in Overwatch, but you know.
I understand. Moira, Omega Dragon gonna pop the ult, getting a horde of players in one small grouping, and she'll clean up the other Moira. And it's gonna be a 2-on-3 battle to end it. No healing besides the May Ice Block. And Gorillas need to retreat and stay alive, but they won't be able to. And that's pretty much gonna seal it up for West Texas A&M, barring any heroics by Pittsburgh State. But that'll pretty much seal it up. They're not gonna be able to get a team push, even with the ults that they have. So that second flash play gonna go to West Texas A&M as the next one unlocks in 30 seconds.
You know, we took this flashpoint once, we can take it again. We know how to do it, we've done it before. History repeats itself.
That is very true. And plus, I like our chances with the Moira ult and the Sojourn ult. Of course, West Texas A&M does have a Tracer Pulse Bomb, and they also have the Beat Drop for Lucio. You'll probably see that in response to the Sojourn ult. Sojourn ult is popped, no beat dropped.
Did take the Doomfist though.
Took the Doomfist, but that Moira from Omega Dragon is just unstoppable. So Sojourn ults gets Doomfist, no one else. And Pittsburgh State on the back. On their backs, I should say. Trying to get this last point. Moira gonna have her ult for the Gorillas. Junker Queen close, just 4% off. May has a Blizzard, and now Brigitte gets her ult as well. We could see a huge combo here and a potential push.
The beat has been dropped by Lucio, but Lucio is just melted.
Gets melted after the beat drop. A good play by Junker Queen, and it looks like Pittsburgh State's gonna have the cleanup on this one. Good job by Tracer of West Texas to get out and alive. They're gonna regroup and try and push in to salvage the rest of this point. Here on the third map, Pittsburgh State needing a victory just to prolong the match, not even to have a chance to win. West Texas A&M up 2-0, looking to close out the series with a sweep. Genji has his blade.
Moira for Pitt State is doing an amazing job for healing Madset. He's really just covering all up. Doomfist ult, and it gets no one.
Moira ult is popped by Omega Dragon, and that's gonna be enough to take the point. They did use a couple of ults, however, they did keep the Genji blade. So hopes are dwindling for the Gorillas. They did capture 79%, but they're gonna need to mount a push and fast, and with no ultimates at their disposal, it's gonna be tough for them to get any kind of momentum. And that pulse bomb on Brigitte gonna be icing on the cake. takes out a player before they can even get a team push started. And that's how this one's going to end. It's going to be a bunch of stragglers coming in, and that'll end map number 3 and end our series. Gorillas get swept in 3 maps, starting off at Lijiang Tower, moving on to Eichenwald, and now here, as Omega Dragon gets the play of the game, it's going to be that Moira ult that she had, taking out so many people. The Coalescence, and going to get a wrap-up kill on the other Moira. Rough performance for the Gorillas, but New Junk City is going to be where they're buried tonight.
Hey,
and West Texas A&M going to take it. We did get a point.
We got a point. We got a point. Now,
you are right. But
gotta see the bright side.
There's always a brighter side to everything. And the bright side is that they had 2 players a full rank above anyone on our team. Obviously, you're going to be outmatched in any scenario on that. We talked about how good team play can potentially cancel that out, but it just wasn't the case tonight. Omega Dragon took over and didn't look back.
I mean, yeah, Omega Dragon had some good plays. I was surprised that he voluntarily gave up the tank position, which he was doing really well in for the first 2 rounds, going to a Moira. But, I mean, he clearly knew what he was doing. Both Moiras were doing really good healing and doing damage, and I feel like their orb placement were fantastic these past couple games.
Yeah, it honestly was kind of a shock for me not to see him on that tank role, and instead choosing the lowest ranked player on your team to play tank. Tank being such a crucial position, but I feel like they maybe thought they had it in their grasps and could just use that as a practice round, and if all else fails, they would just return back to that old strategy if need be.
Yeah, I mean, I am upset that I spent $2.50 for them to pick Doomfist and it wiped us. So I might have to reevaluate my bribing schemes, but I'll have to consult somebody for that.
That last team comp for West Texas A&M really sold it for me. They were just using a very aggressive team. And that's how they're going to finish it off, 3-0 in this one. Pittsburgh State going to fall to them in this Overwatch matchup. Hopefully they can come back and play better against their next opponent down in the future and get better off in this NACE, I guess, sort of play, get a better record going for them. Well, I'm Daryl McLeod. Alongside me is Declan Bergstresser. We're going to say so long here from Pittsburgh State University. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Overwatch, all here on Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Good night.